Hello, everybody. It's George. Good enough. Your 59-year-old English carnivore here in Bridgewater town in Somerset County, down in the southwest of England. I thought I'd make a video today to respond to my great friend Dawn from California, who gave me a big shout out on her channel this morning in the after Christmas video that she made. I hope you all had a fabulous Christmas. I know I did. I had the family around and we had a great time. It was really a lovely family Christmas. So Dawn gave me a shout out, and here's the channel. So this is a direct follow up to that. And it's just really to pick up on a few points of the key carnivore, the pillars, if you like, upon which we live our lifestyle. Now, for me, the first one is definitely the why. You have to have a strong reason for wanting to go carnivore. The great Dr. Elisa Wiedemann calls it the why that makes you cry. I had a very strong one. In March of 2022, I was diagnosed as morbidly obese at 293 pounds. I had high triglycerides and I had type 2 diabetes. This was 2 months after a great friend of mine had dropped out of a heart attack at the age of 59. And I basically realised that I was headed the same way. So that was my strong why. And that has remained with me ever since. So the next point is to do your research. I knew of a type 2 diabetes Professor Roy Taylor from Newcastle University here in the UK. So I started off with him, and he recommended the low-calorie approach, 800 calories a day for about 8 weeks, and type 2 diabetes goes away. But at the same time, I also discovered the low-carb approach, about which I knew nothing. I had heard of the Atkins diet, but didn't know about treatment for diabetes. So I started off on a very dirty keto, low-carb lifestyle, and gradually did more and more research, and gradually started eliminating more and more carbohydrate-type foods from my nutrition diet, if we want to call it that way. But it wasn't until the August of 2022, 5 months after I actually started low carb, that I discovered YouTube as regards the low carb health movement we have out there. My first point of reference was the late great Dr. Sarah Holberg, who put out the video, a 15-minute talk, reversing type 2 diabetes starts with ignoring the guidelines. So I then learned about the power of keto, the power of eating fat instead of carbohydrates. And it was shortly after that, obviously, that the YouTube algorithm threw up a few more things, one of which being Dr. Ken Berry and Kelly Hogan video, which was Woman Eats Only Meat for 13 Years. That sent me on the road towards carnivore. And then I discovered, obviously, Dr. Anthony Chafee, Dr. Ken Berry, various others. But it wasn't really until the following September that I went full fibre-free. So I've been fibre-free now for a year and 3 months, and I've seen remarkable turnarounds in my health. I think if anybody doesn't know my story, I've lost 105 pounds or thereabouts. I've reversed type 2 diabetes to the point where the British NHS describes me as a massively spectacular success story. And my triglycerides I've reduced from 4.3 in English terms down to 1. One is basically about as low as you can go. So, yeah, it's been a great success story. So the why and the research is very important. I will, on my community page, flag up a document which I made a few months ago when I went to a conference, and it lists the great YouTube sources for research that we have at our disposal, and that's on one side, and on the other side it lists the heroes and the villains, if you like, of the history. Ansel Keys with his 7 Nation study, probably the worst one. The 3 Harvard professors who were paid off by the Sugar Research Foundation to advocate for sugar and to support Ansel Keys. Dennis Burkitt, Fiberman, quite a nice guy, in fact. He's known for his Burkitt's lymphoma, but basically the fibre myth started with him on purely observational studies over in East Africa. So very weak science. And on the other side, I list the forgotten heroes, the Philip Randall. So Philip Randall of 92 and 1963 discovered the Randall cycle. Professor John Yudkin, who at the same time as Keys was demonizing fat, wrote a book called Pure, White and Deadly, because he realized it was sugar was the problem and not in fact saturated fat. Nina Teicholz, she's done the expose on the seed oils. I can recommend looking her up and discovering why seed oils are probably an even worse enemy to us than sugar is. On top of that, there's also a lady out there called Dr. Christine Kearns. She's a dentist, and she was the one who exposed the corruption behind the Sugar Research Foundation. So I'll post that, and hopefully we can have a look at it. I know that my great friend Lynn Tucker Carnivore, is a fan of that particular document, and she has one very similar that she provides to people as well to help with the research. Now, the third and last point I want to pick up on today is find your tribe, the carnivore community, the carnivore family. Because when we start out on carnivore, often we are pretty much alone. We don't have friends immediately around us. So you have to build your own community, and the best way of doing that is online. So I'll just give a brief history of of how I built my own tribe, my own carnivore community. It wasn't until August 2023, which was a year and a bit after I started down the low carb route, that I first reached out to somebody when my great friend Larry Allhands over in Texas started Carnivore Soldier, and he was aiming at veterans such as myself. So I reached out to Larry, and Larry became my first friend in the carnivore community, and we still remain friends to this day by email. And then shortly after that, I discovered that a girl much closer to me, Lauren Tucker, who's going to become quite famous through Healing Humanity. And she had a Dave Mack interview, and she has an email, so I reached out to her. We exchanged quite a few emails. Lauren already had a WhatsApp group, and she included me on that, so I then immediately made some more carnivore friends. And then two of the WhatsApp groups were merged, so I then had a much bigger British community here. And that WhatsApp group now contains a couple of American friends as well. So it's a great way of keeping in touch. It's mainly YouTubers, so it's it's not open to everybody, but it is a really good way of us YouTubers staying in contact, giving advice, and to share experiences basically. And then most recently, I've become great friends with Dawn over in California, Resting Witch Face. Now, there's quite a funny story behind how Dawn and I became family, because we are family now as we regard each other. She calls me little brother, I call her big sister because I'm 3 years younger than her. So, Dawn had her own channel, which I never heard of. And one day she put up a, what should we call it, a thumbnail containing the word carnivore. And it was, why do I hate carnivores? I thought, okay, so the algorithm has thrown this one up to me. I thought, well, here's another vegan who's going to have a go. So I decided to go and have a look at this video. It's like walking into a saloon with a gun on my hip, ready for a gunfight. I came out of that saloon with a brand new friend in the carnivore world, because Dawn made it quite clear that she didn't hate carnivore. She was just jealous of us because we're mostly very healthy and very happy people. So I decided to take Dawn under my wing, so to speak, and help her to become a successful carnivore. And she has in a very, very short period of time. And it's been great fun, and we've had a good laugh along the way. Carnivore is fun. Like I say, we are now part of the same carnivore family, if you like. So that's how you find your tribe. If you can't find your tribe locally, then find them online. However, I do have one crossover, which is my great friend Ziggy, Carnivore Campers. She lives about 17 miles from me. And we actually have met up, and we've done a walk and a talk together, which you can find on Carnivore Campers. And we are planning to do another one over the course of the holidays. I will be contacting Ziggy either later today or tomorrow to try and fix the time. We know where we're going. We're going to walk on a little beauty spot feature not far from both of us here in Somerset. And we'll have a walk and a talk, and two old farts, I think she calls us, putting the world to right, which is again great fun. So just to recap, really, have a strong why, have a strong reason for wanting to do carnivore. Preventative medicine is better than curing an existing problem, so you can embark without a serious health problem and go down a preventative route. Then do your research. I will assist with that with my community post, which will be coming up shortly after this. And then find your tribe. Go online, find Facebook, form WhatsApp groups, email people. Most carnivores most carnivore YouTubers are contactable by email. and they will nearly always respond because we want to welcome more people into the community. So if you're just starting out, if you're fairly well into it and any of that has helped, then please feel free to comment on this channel, and we'll basically take it from there and see how many people we can get on board. It's great fun. It's been a great journey, and I'm looking forward to sharing it with you. See you later. Cheers. Bye-bye.